views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
For those of you who do not know me, my name is Rina Valentin. I am the host of Open on BronxNet Television every Friday. We have BronxNet in the house actually capturing today's afternoon event. Shout out to my network, BronxNet, and to Frank, who's actually the man behind the camera. And so I will do my best to bring it up a notch. In the meantime, sigue comiendo. So our next introduction actually needs no introduction. She's all hands on deck, that is, for today's event. You ready? Yeah. Serving on the Bronx Chamber of Commerce Executive Board while running a New York City and New York State certified woman-owned business called the Bronx Design Group. Let's give a nice round of applause for Jerry Shortino.
Se parliamo un'altra lingua, parliamo anche in italiano. Buongiorno. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I can't help but notice how many men are in this room, and we applaud you, and we love you. Please give the men a nice round of applause. These men are smart because they know this is where it all happens. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Whenever we plan these, we never plan the weather. And when I saw the weather report, I said, oh, but everyone, so good to come out. This is a special event for the Bronx Chamber of Commerce. We do so many wonderful events throughout the year. But this is the one that we especially love. It's close to our hearts because we not only honor prominent women from the Bronx, we honor the leaders of tomorrow, and that's our young students who will be receiving scholarships today, and for that we are especially proud. So thank you very much for coming out. This event would not be possible without our sponsors. It just wouldn't be possible. And Con Edison, we love you. You have been supported this event from the very first year. I think this is 11 years. Please give them a round of applause. They give out 3 scholarships every year and concentration in STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, and math. And really, we couldn't do it without you, so we thank you, Con Edison, and to Joe Kelleher and the team at the Hutchinson Metro Center and Simone Development. Thank you, Joe. Every single time, give Joe a round of applause. Because every time I say, hey, Joe, will you help us out? He says, absolutely, Jerry. I'm always glad to help. And Joe has given a scholarship every year. And for the past few years, we also welcome Metro Optics. Thank you, Metro Optics. Sarah Benizio giving a scholarship. And that scholarship is special because we concentrate on someone who is visually impaired. And today's recipient is also extraordinary, as are all our students. And I can't wait for you to meet them. This event would not be possible without the committee who puts this together. And this group of ladies join me every year. These are truly the movers and shakers of the Bronx. And if you want anything done, you need to make friends with one of us. And then we grab the whole group in. Because I'm not even kidding, nothing happens in this borough without this group of women, who I am so proud to call my dearest friends. So please acknowledge our committee members from the Bronx Zoo, Rosemary DeLuca, from the New York Botanical Garden, Elizabeth Figueroa, from the Bronx Times reporter, Laura Guerrero, from Verizon, April Horton, from Con Edison, Evelyn Oliver, from the Westchester Square Bid, Lisa Soren, from the Bronx Zoo and the Metropolitan Opera House, Anna Vincenti. Please give us all a nice round of applause. Okay. And I'd like to also give a special shout out to our favorite man. Is he in the room? I don't have my glasses. Phil Cardone. Phil, are you here? He's our favorite man. This is either the bravest or the most foolish man in the Bronx, because he has been on every conference call with us, and he helps us put this together, and inevitably everything he does, we go, no, Phil, not that, and he's never anything but polite and hardworking. Thank you, Phil, and the group at Bronx Chamber of Commerce, Sashay and Patricia and Jesse, is that your name? I'm sorry, is that you? Yeah. Please give them a round of applause. They do such a good job. So thank you. Thank you to everyone. So it is my great pleasure to bring up the boss, the chairman of the board, who will give us some greetings. And he's a great leader, and he's the reason why we're so dedicated to this chamber, my good friend, Joe Kelleher.
Good afternoon. Let's give Jerry a big round of applause and her friend for singing the national anthem. That's big. That's a tough one. You know, it's great to be here. And, you know, and I was coming over, and I think every time I come to this event, I think it rains. You know? But, you know, you walk through the door of this Villa Barone, and you see the ladies, you see the room, and look, it's like sunshine. It's amazing. The energy is like so positive. And I really want to commend the committee, Jerry. You guys, how many years has this been going on now? 11, I can't believe I've been 11 years up here with you guys. And it's just amazing the work you do, the passion. Every time you do an event, this is the most intense event that we have at the Chamber of Commerce in terms of planning. Because these ladies don't fool around. They don't fool around. You know, they say a smart man doesn't have all the answers. Right? But he knows where to find them. So when I have an issue, I call Jerry. Jerry, you're doing a great job. And also all of the board of directors. Do we have all of the board of directors, I'm just curious, that are here? Could you just stand up and be acknowledged if you're on the board? Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you for all you do.
It's really a pleasure to be here today with you. And special thanks is extended to the Lunch Committee. I can't say enough about them and the sponsors for their support for this special event. Jerry said this, they've been doing this for 11 years, and they make it perfect every time. It gets better and better. Let's give them a big round of applause. Congratulations to the students and the scholarship winners. Keep up the great work, and definitely keep dreaming big. There's a big future out there for you, and everything is bright. I'd like to also acknowledge my staff for their great work behind the scenes to make sure things run smoothly. Thank you, Patricia, Phil, Sashay, and our student interns, Lanier and Jesse. Let's give them a big round of applause. In the past year, membership has doubled. So we're really growing, and there's a lot more to grow. The first annual business directory has been published. There's a copy in your gift bag, and I'd like you to take a look at it. There's also an addendum in there of over 40 new members that joined since December. If you're not currently a member, you're missing out on referral business. And the Bronx is booming. There was a report out this morning that it's over $8 billion worth of investment that's happening here in the Bronx. The governor announced last week there's $1.8 billion that's going to be developed with Sheridan Boulevard. There's so many great things happening. And with your membership, you could also take advantage of referral business. There's also an application. It's a brochure in your gift bag. If you join today, you could save $100 on the application fee. So I thank you for your support and cooperation. I want you to have a great lunch. Thank you very much.
Hola. Are you guys having a good time? Are you sure? I want to see the energy kind of. Who was that? I gotta make sure you're there at the front at every gig I do. Thank you very much. That's the young crowd over there. Well, I was focused on her. I just wanted to take you all in because there's a lot of information being fed here, and I wanted to make sure that everybody's here and present. And, you know, the organizers happen to be the rowdiest table. I don't know if you're aware of that. So they're obviously just, yeah, feeling the luncheon, and we want to make sure that you guys are feeling the luncheon as well, because we've got a lot of speeches that are about to be presented. So drink up your wine. And of course, we want to acknowledge the men because I didn't acknowledge them earlier, because it really does take a strong man to let a woman be who she is, right? Because technically, we are born warriors. Absolutely. I mean, it takes a partnership, right? They say the women are the gatherers and the men are the hunters. I don't know about that. It takes a partnership, right? And I acknowledge the men here this afternoon who are brave enough to just kind of acknowledge us. Thank you. Thank you. I mean that. Because there's going to be a lot of praising of women today, so I just want you guys to get some props. So actually, it's time for our keynote. Is our keynote here? Where is she? There she is. Woo! Yes. The fabulous Vanessa L. Gibson. Well, let's learn a little bit about Council Member Vanessa L. Gibson, who proudly represents the Bronx's 16th Council District as the West Bronx's voice at City Hall. She passionately advocates for affordable housing, low-income families, seniors, job creation, and meaningful opportunities for our youth. Gibson also serves as chair of the Council's Committee on Public Safety and has the distinction, the theme of today, of being both the first woman and first person of color to hold this role. Yes, yes, please. As chair, she has oversight of the operations and budget of the NYPD, the Civilian Complaint Review Board, the district attorneys, and the Special Narcotics Prosecutor and Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice. Gibson has been a leader in school safety reform, championed criminal justice reform legislation. I excused myself earlier. I told you I'm a little under the weather. And is a vocal proponent of anti-gun violence programs. I heard you. So please, how is it I'm supposed to say it? Go ahead, Elizabeth. I'm sick. Proponent of anti-gun. Yes? All right, thank you. Anti-gun violence programs. Under her leadership, the council was able to secure funds necessary to expand the NYPD's headcount, almost 1,300 officers in FY16, and expand the DA's baseline to budgetary allocations by over $21 million in FY17, with over half of the money going to the historically underfunded boroughs of the Bronx and Staten Island. I don't really know what all of that means, but I know she's working hard for us. She's a lifelong New Yorker, proud graduate of the city's public school system, a former state assemblywoman, an alumna of SUNY Albany, and undergraduate and Baruch College, where she received her MPA. And here's to seeing what the future holds for her. Let's give a real strong round of applause for Council Member Vanessa L. Gibson.
Hello, everyone. Bronx Chamber of Commerce, how are you today? It is an honor and an absolute privilege to stand before you as a woman of color, as a strong, powerful woman who rocks. Yes. So let me just say, while they give us the month of March as the designation of Women's Her Story Month, every day we celebrate women. Every day we celebrate our mothers, our grandmothers, our abuelas. We celebrate the dynamic women in our communities. And so I thank you. I thank you to the Chamber, to all of the executive, to our new president and CEO, to our board chair. Thank you to Rena for the wonderful introduction. It is always an absolute pleasure to stand before the wonderful members of this community, our Bronx businesses, our powerful women, right? So while this is the last day of March, ladies, are we done celebrating? No. Absolutely not. Men, are we done celebrating our women? No. That's right. Not only does it take a strong man, but a smart man to realize that next to every good man is an even better woman, right? Right? Can I get a quick amen? Amen, yes. So I am so grateful to the Chamber for once again hosting Women's Her Story Month. Year after year, we come together in celebration, in unity, in partnership, in fellowship, because we know in our communities we have incredible sheroes that make a difference, that give of themselves to help others, with or without a title. We recognize that every year should always be the year of the woman. And how amazing are we women that we are not only shattering the glass ceiling every single year, but we have in Secretary Hillary Clinton a woman who rose to the highest level of almost becoming president of these United States. How about that? Never in many of our wildest imaginations did we ever envision that we would have such great success. And certainly as a New York City Council member, as one of your partners in this effort, I applaud the work that the Bronx Chamber of Commerce does every single day, empowering our businesses, strengthening our community organizations, providing creative opportunities to strengthen MWBEs. All of those efforts is exactly what we fight for hand in hand with you in the New York City Council. And I certainly want to acknowledge the Chamber for the partnership with our new effort working with Small Business Services, SBS, called Chamber on the Go. We are working with all of the chambers of commerce in each of the boroughs to focus on entrepreneurial opportunities, strengthening our businesses, providing the technical assistance that we know many of our businesses need. MWBE is something that we should strive for each and every day. And as a former assembly member, I remember in Albany under Governor Cuomo, many of the ambitious goals that Governor Cuomo put forth. And we need to do the same at the city. And I am grateful that this mayor, Bill de Blasio, has recognized the importance of investing in our minority and women-owned businesses, because we are the next wave, we are the next future, and for us in the Bronx, we know that we are on the cusp of a new renaissance in this great borough. And so I salute each and every one of you. I thank you for what the Chamber has always stood for. In the trenches, when many fled the Bronx, there were businesses that stayed the course, that recognized the potential even back then that we now are wonderful recipients of, because we see the beauty in our businesses, the thriving neighborhoods, all of our bid associations that are not just growing, but they're strengthening businesses and they're giving opportunity and access to our businesses. So in my council district, I'm proud to represent the 161st Street bid. But even though I represent just one bid, I work with every single bid in the Bronx. Yes, and I love you too, Westchester bid. I love all of you. Because this is about making sure that we strengthen opportunities. For so many of us in the Bronx, we have never been given a fair chance. We have never been given an opportunity. But I will tell you, now you have incredible public servants like me sitting at the table, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference. And as it was stated, as Rena told you about my history and the work that I'm doing in the New York City Council, before I got to the City Council, there was never a female nor a person of color to chair public safety in the history of the New York City Council. Never. And so I say it with a great deal of pride and humility because I know that while I may be the first, I should not be the last. I want to make sure that our young people can look at me and see themselves. I want them to recognize that despite it all, whatever statistic that is used to define who we are, that is not who we are. We are not a statistic, but rather we are success stories. And so I say that because so many of our young people don't see the potential that God has already given them. And I look at the position I have and how God has elevated me to be a New York City Council member and how blessed that I am. And I don't take it for granted. I know that every day is a day to serve, is a day to fulfill His glory, is a day to make a difference. And I strive to do that every single day in my community. And chairing public safety, you all know, is not easy. So I work with the NYPD and their $5.2 billion budget. We have successfully hired more police when it wasn't popular. We have invested in training and technology. We have looked at neighborhood-based policing so that residents can engage with their local police. And so communities of color and immigrant communities and undocumented residents don't feel the threat of ICE and deportation. They can engage with our local police officers. We have focused on reducing and breaking down the pipeline to prison so that our young people don't have to walk the school halls and feel like they're in jail because their schools have metal detectors. We have tried to change the environment in which our young people work and go to school. We have reduced the number of students that are arrested and given summons and suspensions, and we've looked at alternatives. We've focused on prevention and not detention. We have invested in jobs and social service programs because we know the one area you can change a young person's life and their destiny is giving them a job. And we have worked with small businesses to focus on giving all of you incentives to hire young people from our communities because they're our young children. They belong to us, and whether they're our biological children or not, we are responsible for them. And so we have to work hand in hand with all the stakeholders to make sure that we are making a difference in the life of someone else. And so when I think about Women's Her Story Month, I think about three things. I think about character, I think about commitment, and I think about courage, right? I think about the commitment that we have to ourselves and to this community. I think about the courage when we stand strong, even when it's not popular. I think about the ancestors and the pioneers that have come before me, that have paved the way so that I can be where I am. I thank God for them. My two biggest idols in this world, next to my mother that gave me life and stands at my side every day, is the Deputy Borough President, Aurelia Green, because she is an amazing, trailblazing woman who rocks, and she loves the Lord. She gave me my first job out of college when I was at SUNY Albany. And I didn't know that that internship would lead to a lifetime of working with her as my mentor. She took a hold of me, she took me by the hand, and she saw strengths in me that I didn't see in myself. I always saw elected officials as these perfect people standing on pedestals, and I was a behind-the-scenes person. I like to know everything, so I always tell young people, the engineer behind the rapper is the one that knows everything and makes all the money, right? So don't strive to be the rapper and the artist, but strive to be the architect and the engineer and the songwriter, because you are the talented one. So I always thought about the staff of elected officials being the behind the scenes that are really doing all of the grunt work. And what I didn't realize was God was setting me up on a path of public service. And once my internship ended and Aurelia Green gave me my first job, I ended up working for her for almost 8 years until she decided, along with Ruben Diaz Jr., when he was elected Bronx Borough President in April of 2009, she decided to leave the assembly with him, and they both left and became Bronx Borough President and Deputy Borough President. And I decided to run for her seat. I said, let me take a chance. I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure of what God had planned for me. But it was an opportunity that I now, years later, look back and say, all for the glory of God. And look at how he works. And I was elected to the State Assembly on May 2nd of 2009. I was also graduating at the same time with my master's degree from Baruch College. So I went from SUNY to CUNY. They called me a twofer. A twofer. I kept my talents in New York State, in New York City, and I served for 4 years in the New York State Assembly. I was honored to get elected on the same day with Assembly Member Marcos Crespo, who is such a dear friend of mine. We learned and grew together, and even now he's one of my very best friends. And I often say to him, look at how God has worked in our lives. God has taken him to become the Bronx County Chairman, the chair of the Puerto Rican and Hispanic Task Force. I'm in the New York City Council. Only God can do that. And I am so grateful. And I tell this story to so many of our young people because I don't want them to get distracted by life's challenges. I don't want them to see the struggle that many of us went through and get deterred. I want them, if anything, to be encouraged. But even with that encouragement, it has to come with resources. And all of you know, as business leaders and entrepreneurs and educators in our community, that no successful plan can be executed without resources. You understand and you know how that works. And so for all that we say about young people and what we want them to do, the changes we want them to make, the future that we want them to have, what are we doing about it today? What are we doing to make an impact so at the end of this life, we can say to ourselves with confidence that we have served to the very best of our ability to make a difference in the life of someone else. And so that's it for me. That's what I strive for. And I'm reminded every day that I'm a woman and a woman of color, because even now, with the years I've served in the city council, I'm in my 4th year, plus 3 years in the assembly. I'm old. I'm getting there, guys. Even with all that I have achieved, I still face many of the same challenges because we are struggling to get pay equity so that women can earn the same amount as our male counterparts for doing the same work. We're struggling just to get pay equity. We have successfully passed in the city council and through the administration paid sick leave. So many of our mothers and wives, after they give birth and have children, are able to take time off to nurture their children and not have to worry about work. And it wasn't easy, because if you think about the environment and the climate in which we're working in, everything is being done to turn back the hands of time, to turn back the role of women back to the housewives when we did nothing else but raise our children. But you know what, women? We do that and much more. And we have redefined the role of a woman from a housewife to a board member to a president to an executive and every other title that we rightfully have earned and deserve. And I believe that we are stepping into roles and positions that were never designed for us, but we are making a difference. And so I am proud when I get to talk and tell my story and be an encouragement to women, because I feel like we are doing it, and when you put a woman at the table, things will happen. And I am proud in the city council, we are struggling to elect more women. 51 members of the council, led by our speaker, Melissa Mark Viverito, who's leaving office at the end of the year. We have 13 women out of 51. And at the end of this year, when we run for re-election, of the positions that we lose, the 13 will turn into 9 women. So we're losing 4 women, right? We're losing Melissa Mark Viverito. We're losing Rosie Mendez in the East Village. We're losing Annabelle Palmer in Soundview and Castle Hill. And we're losing Darlene Mealy in Brooklyn. Those are the 4 women who are leaving us. And it's important that we focus as a council and as a city on electing more women. We deserve it. We deserve our fair share. And it's rightfully the right time. And we have to make sure that we are putting more women in these positions. I am proud at the council, even with the small 13 that we have, we are a dynamic 13. And just to show you the level of power we have, there is a picture from last year's budget that I absolutely love. And it's my public safety budget hearing. So the NYPD, the commissioner, and all of his team are sitting at the table, and you have the dynamic trio. Myself as public safety chair, Julissa Ferreras Copeland as finance chair, and Melissa Mark Viverito as the speaker. And that picture for me says that 3 women are controlling the budget for the city council. That is amazing. And in addition, our finance director is LaTanya McKinney, and she is also a woman of color. And so when I see pictures like that, I am so encouraged, because to me it says that it is our time and our time has come. But what we do with that time is equally as important. We cannot allow ourselves to fall short of what is important, to make sure that through our own advocacy and our industry that we are employing more women, that we are giving them an opportunity through internships. We are working with more of our partners in education, and we are building the next generation of women entrepreneurs and women business leaders. I'm very proud that SBS has a new initiative called We NYC, Women Entrepreneurs of NYC. And a couple of months ago, I worked with SBS, and I had a town hall meeting with women business leaders and entrepreneurs. And it was amazing to hear their stories of how they had challenges of getting their startup funds, their business plan, but through it all, they survived and they overcome. And when you hear their stories, it's magnifying, because it says to our little girls that yes, you too can achieve. With hard work, with determination, with good character, with commitment, and with courage, you too can achieve. And so for me, this is my life work. I am so passionate about this work. I could talk all day about my love of public service and the fact that I know that God is giving me purpose. He is giving me purpose to help someone else. He's using me as an instrument to make a difference in the lives of someone else. And as I get the opportunity, which is often, to talk at schools and career days and speak to so many young people, I look at their great potential. And I always say to them, don't allow anyone other than you to define your future. Because along the road of life and along the journey, in the path of your life, there will be people in your life to help you and to hurt you. And you are going to have to learn the people in your circle that are there to help you or to hurt you, right? And young people and the work that they're doing and the impact they will make is absolutely significant. And we have to make sure that we invest in them. So I'm all about women. I'm all about supporting our businesses, our entrepreneurs, because I truly believe that it is our defined time. There is truly a deficit in our business sector as it relates to women, and we have to fix that. And so I am encouraged by the work that all of us are doing, and I know that a lot is left to come. So on this last day of March, let us not stop celebrating our women. Let us recognize all of those unsung sheroes. They're sheroes. The wife, the single mother, the teacher, the educator, the nurse that does the work without the recognition. Let us remember that we have them right in our communities, and these are the efforts that I want us to be a part of to make sure that we can continue to be a source of strength and encouragement for them. So as I close, I thank you, Bronx Chamber of Commerce. I thank you for all that you do. I know that the best days in our borough are yet to come, because you know what? We have women at the table, and we are making a difference. So give it up for our women. And congratulations to all of our honorees and our scholarship recipients. May God bless you and keep you in his mercy and his grace. Congratulations, and thank you, everyone.
Once again, let's give it up for Council Member Vanessa L. Gibson. Please accept these beautiful flowers on behalf of the Bronx Chamber of Commerce. They are only a token of appreciation for who you are, what you represent, and what you just brought for us this afternoon. What an inspiration she is, right? I could just listen to her all afternoon, but unfortunately we have to, move along the program. However, I'm actually honored to be standing in your presence.
You're my sister.
I know, you're my sister too. And just in watching you and just seeing you elevate, and that's what I'm honored to be standing by, is elevation, right? Because elevation is my motivation, and you are a fine example of that. Thank you. Brava, brava.
And thank you for the flowers. It's always good to get them while you can still smell them, right? Yeah, okay, amen. Thank you.
Stop that with the aging. You're blossomed. Yes. So, just in piggybacking off of what she tapped into within her keynote is the importance of mentorship. Right? Because that's what I picked up from her speech more than anything. Because at the end of the day, it takes a village. It takes a village. And so, if just one person adopted a mentee, then we would actually make this an easier process. And of course, the importance of making sure that we have women in office. God knows we need that more than anything right now. So next up, to present details of the scholarship programs, we have another fabulous female Bronx Chamber Executive Board member. I guess you guys are, woo woo. She also serves as the executive director of the Westchester Square Bid. She is primarily known as the foundress of the scholarship program. Please welcome Lisa Soren.
They made up that title, I assure you. So, good afternoon, and I appreciate everybody being out here. So I'm going to turn the tables, thank Vanessa for her words. But the reason this was such a passion for me 11 years ago when we started this is because the Chamber represents business men and women, and it is our job, basically, to showcase and to encourage those that come behind us. And using Women's History Month as a key, I look to say businesses like Con Edison, Metro Optics, Joe Kelleher and the Simone Group, who believe in the young ladies who are making a difference. I want to honor and say to the women who are being honored today, you are the example of the young ladies you're going to hear about today. They look to you, they look to us, they look to all corporations to say this is what we want to be. And I think I repeat this story every year, but I have to say it. I have two young ladies who I have said education comes first. Education takes you into networking and takes you to the next step. Who was I to speak when I didn't even have my degrees in hand? Eric, I always point to you from Con Edison, who encouraged me, even after so many years, to get my bachelor's, get my master's, so that as I am encouraging my two daughters, who are now in college and soon the next one to go, they can say that mom did it too. So you lead by example. Thank you. So to my beautiful 3 young ladies or 4 young ladies who are being honored today, I read your essays. I wish I were you at that point. You are incredible and you are an inspiration to us. We are grown and you're taking the next generation. And to companies who support these young ladies, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope that every year we get one more company that comes and says, yes, I believe in a young lady who can change the world in tomorrow. So I thank you for being here tonight. I thank you to the sponsors of these young ladies. Congratulations to my beautiful honorees, and on to what's important, honoring our young ladies. Thank you. So they want to stay on the mic with me. Hello, I want to bring up our first sponsor, Joe Kelleher. Joe? Where's my Joe? Joe Kelleher, you have the honor of introducing our first young lady.
Thanks, Lisa, for all you do. You know, every year it's always so gratifying and an honor to support these young women. And, you know, at Simone Development, many of you know we have the Hutchinson Metro Center. We have a college university there. We have Montefiore. And, you know, there's a lot of healthcare going on today. It's amazing that how that industry is blossoming. And we see so many young people coming through Mercy and other colleges in the area, and we're just so happy to be able to support them. So that's one of the reasons that I'm here today. And I was very impressed. I met this young lady just before the event, and we had a chance to have a conversation, which I like to do. You know, I just wanted to mention one other thing. My daughter, you know, was my firstborn, my daughter, Kristen. You know, it's very emotional when I think about it. I'm so proud of her. I am so proud of her. She wanted to become an actress, and she's always a straight A student, and she says, Dad, this is what I want to do. And I said, Kristen, follow your passion. Whatever you feel passionate about is what you need to do. Don't worry about the money. Do what you love. I'll always provide for you. I'm here for you. But just go ahead and do what you need to do. And, you know, she's never come to me for anything. Isn't that amazing? But I'm there. But tomorrow, I'm taking her to the airport because she's going on an 8-month transatlantic cruise ship as a lead performer and actress for 8 months. I'm so proud of her. I worry about her because, you know, I want to know how she's doing. And I always say to her, you know, Kristen, because she's been away to Europe before, I said, I talk to you more when you're in Europe than when you're in the city, you know, because of Skype and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing her a lot while she's away. It's amazing. It's amazing. So women have always been, it's always been something special to me. So this young lady who I just met, her name is Kashmane Lashua. And she's with Bronx Design and Construction Academy. So I like to read her bio because it kind of says it all. Kashmane exhibited an entrepreneurial spirit at an early age and has worked diligently to turn her creative ideas into firm business models. When she was in 10th grade, she was selected to attend an exclusive pre-college art design program at Parsons School of Design. Last summer, she attended Cornell University's pre-college business program. Kashmine, determined to run a small business, led to the launch of a business called Cash 23, her own brand of cake pops. And she promotes via social media and are extremely popular in her school and local community. Kashmine is a student in her school's architecture department, one of the most rigorous and demanding courses offers within the New York City school system. She has mastered several computer-based drafting programs and is OSHA certified. Despite personal challenges and setbacks, Kashmine has earned a perfect attendance record and has been recognized for exemplary conduct throughout her 4 years, a testimony not only to her academic aptitude, but her persistence and resiliency. Kashmine is most proud of her sense of community and giving back. Since the 9th grade, she has interned as a culinary arts aide to elementary students. As a leader in her school's peer group connection program, she assists incoming freshmen students with making a smooth transition to high school. Ultimately, Kashmine plans to continue studying architecture at the New York School City College of Technology and will prepare to realize her dream of creating a 3D clothing line. Wow, let's give her a big round of applause. Kashmine LaShore, would you please come to the podium? Congratulations.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I would like to just start off by saying that I'm very honored to have this opportunity. And I would like to thank the Bronx Chamber of Commerce and as well Joe Keller for presenting me with this scholarship on my birthday. So, and as well, I would like to congratulate all of the other young ladies that's receiving scholarships today. Thank you.
And here we have a scholarship check in the amount of $1,000, which we're going to give to Kashmine. In addition to that, there's a commendation from City Council citation from Ms. Gibson. So thank you so much. Let's come take a picture.
Lovely, thank you. And congratulations, Joe Kelleher, on your new show. Looking forward to seeing you at BronxNet. So our next, so the next scholarship presenter is actually going to be presenting 3 scholarships on behalf of Con Edison. Please welcome Manager, Bronx Public Affairs for Con Edison, Evelyn Oliver. Evelyn?
Good afternoon, everyone. As Lisa and Joe and countless other people have mentioned, that Con Edison has been a sponsor of this luncheon since the very beginning. So that makes 11 years, and I've been at Con Edison for 9, and every year I've stood up here and awarded Con Ed scholarships to 3 very deserving young ladies. And I love this event because it really gives me an opportunity to encourage young women to seek futures, careers, studies in STEM. Those are the science, technology, engineering, and math subjects, because we are a company of engineers, mathematicians, computer science technicians. So we're looking to grow the next generation of Con Ed employees, and this is one of those platforms that allows us to do these things. So this afternoon, I have the pleasure of introducing 3 spectacular young ladies. You'll get to know a little bit about them as I read their brief bios. All right, the first Con Ed STEM scholar I'd like to introduce is Peace Agunwa. She's with the High School for Energy and Technology. Peace is well known among her teachers and advisors for her serious work ethic. She demonstrates this by achieving consistent honor roll awards and perfect attendance since freshman year, attributes that have helped Peace secure a place in the National Honor Society. Peace has known since she was a young girl that she wanted to pursue a career that was not typically a woman's thing, and to inspire other girls to do the same. Engineering sparked her interest after she took a series of HVAC classes at her school. Peace then participated in Con Edison's job shadow program. Peace said she was fascinated by what she saw at the company's facility on White Plains Road, but felt disheartened by seeing so few women there. Her ultimate career goal is to work at a company like Con Edison and help even out the male to female ratio in engineering. Although Peace's grades in her math and technical classes hover in the high 90s, she also excels in literature subjects, and she's a very strong writer. She has scored 100 every semester in English all 4 years. Her AP English literature teacher considers Peace one of the most impressive students she's had in a very long time, as evidenced by her creative analysis of the abstract title, The Handmaid's Tale, one of my favorite books, and very hard to understand. Peace plans to attend the New York City College of Technology in the fall. Peace, please come up for your award.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very honored and grateful for this opportunity given to me, and I aspire to help young women from my community do the same, and I'm very thankful. Thank you, guys.
Next, I'd like to introduce Miriam Asker from the High School of American Studies at Lehman College. Miriam desires to use her proficiency and passion for computer science to raise awareness about the less fortunate. Last year, she participated in the Girls Who Code summer program, where she collaborated with many like-minded girls on a computer game that encourages and inspires its users to take action on such issues as mental illness. This school year, Miriam has devoted out-of-school time to the Electronics Club, where she desires to deepen her knowledge of engineering and robotics. Miriam believes her greatest achievement thus far is the leadership role she has undertaken at the Muslim American Society Civics Club at her mosque. Here, she facilitates weekly platforms for Muslim girls to express themselves and connect on issues like fitting in at school and handling sensitive issues at home. Miriam is also a Hearts for Humanity volunteer, where she coordinates fundraisers to benefit Syrian refugees. Miriam is poised to graduate at the top of her class with a 97 average and has been accepted to a number of prestigious colleges. She will attend CUNY's Macaulay Honors College to study computer science or engineering. Miriam, please come up for your award.
I just want to say thank you. This is a really wonderful opportunity, and it means a lot, so thank you very much.
The third and final Con Ed STEM scholar is Darilli Flores Rosado, and she's at the Bronx Design and Construction Academy. Ooh, there's a hole up here. Darilli is fiercely devoted to making her vision of becoming an architectural engineer a reality. Born in the Dominican Republic to immigrant parents, all right, I'll give you that moment. Born in the Dominican Republic to immigrant parents of Mexican and Dominican descent, Darilli has never allowed the limitations and challenges of not having legal American status prevent her from reaching for the stars. Conversely, she is motivated to overachieve and smash boundaries. By the time Darilli graduates, she will have earned 75 credits as opposed to 44 credits achieved by most New York State high school students. She is currently the 4th-ranked student in her senior class, a member of the National Honor Society and the National Technical Honor Society, which is an exclusive designation achieved by only a few New York City students each year. She has even earned a spot on the campus-wide boys wrestling team. Talk about smashing boundaries. Derilli is most accomplished in her technical studies and has a portfolio of architectural designs that speak to her outstanding abilities. She has maintained a GPA of 95% in her shop courses for all 4 years, and she represented her school at Skills USA, a nationwide career technical education competition in the drafting contest. She is recognized by her teachers as one of their top creative forces. Her models are displayed throughout the school as examples of excellence. She was rewarded for her academic achievements with an internship last summer at an electrical construction firm, working directly with professional technicians in the drafting department. No summary of Derilli's achievements would be complete without mentioning the care and concern she has for her community. She writes letters for non-English speaking adults seeking to rectify credit issues. She mentors her classmates on how to navigate the college application process and shares her experience as a newly minted American citizen with those who are striving to attain legal citizenship for themselves. Derilli has been accepted to CUNY Spitzer School of Architecture, Pratt School of Architecture, and Parsons School of Design. Whichever school she decides upon, I'm sure she'll finish with the highest of achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Derilli Flores Rosado.
Sorry, I'm a little short. I want to walk up. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and thank you so much for Con Edison for giving me this award and this scholarship, in addition to thanking Evelyn Oliver for giving me this grand opportunity. I'm surely is going to help me in the near future, so thank you very much.
Thank you, and congratulations to our scholarship recipients. They are quite amazing. Thank you. Let's give it a round of applause to them. And Evelyn, I wasn't referring to you when I was saying we talk a lot. I was referring to myself. Okay, so we have one more scholarship. How could I? How could I? I'm only your ambassador. Well, we are actually going to be bringing up Miss Sarah Benizio, who's going to be offering one student from New York Institute for Special Education with a scholarship on behalf of Metro Optics. Let's give it up for Sarah Benizio.
Gracias, Reina Valentin. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to give a brief shout out to our MC, the visionary Rena Valentin, who Metro Optics has had the pleasure of partnering with for the last 2 years to promote good eye care habits and eye health. So, Rena, thank you for helping us spread the word. Check us out on Instagram. All right. In 2015, we were asked by my mentor and dear friend Lisa Soren, who you've all heard so much about this afternoon, if Metro Optics wanted to sponsor a scholarship for a young woman with visual impairment at the Women of Distinction event. And it was such an honor to do it, and I feel so privileged that we can continue to do this every year. With that, it is my pleasure to present this year's scholarship to Ms. Danielle Cowan towards her first year in college. Danielle is legally blind, and that has not stopped her from doing anything. I cried reading her application materials. So impressive. She's currently awaiting word from her top university choices, many distinguished Ivy League names, and she's already been accepted by Fordham, who would be so, I know, we have a lot of Fordham in the house, so. But I was most impressed by some of the work that she's already done. She was the first blind female to compete in the North American Computational Linguistics Olympiad. What? Okay. That's a competition where participants use their knowledge of different languages to solve problems that represent cutting-edge issues in different fields and sectors. This past year, during her internship at NYU, Danielle conducted a scientific research project studying the perception of Braille characters on the skin, and it's been showing very promising potential to reveal unexpected insights into how the brain computes touch. Her continuing education will support her pursuit of a career in neurological research, which I can't even comprehend that. She is also an avid writer And in what little spare time she has, she gives back by tutoring a fellow classmate in English. So I'm blown away by this young lady, and I'm so privileged to present this scholarship. So Danielle, you too are a woman of distinction, like so many of the women here today. And we look forward to your many future accomplishments. Congratulations, and good luck at whatever university is lucky enough to get you. Ms. Danielle Cowan.
I'm honored to receive the scholarship that so many other wonderful young ladies have received from the Bronx Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to thank Metro Optics for sponsoring this. Thank you, everyone.
So we're going to step over to the right here, and we're going to take some pictures.
Thank you, and thank you to Metro Optics. They are not just an optical store, they're a family optical store. Not just servicing family, but it's like when you visit them, you are with family. So thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Metro Optics. Okay, so everyone's already received their lunch. Bon appetit. Bon appetit. We are not going to take a break. We are going to move it along, and I wanted to, I know that there's a contest of some sort. We'll get back to that. I just want to congratulate all the recipients and thank you to all the organizations that have contributed to today's afternoon, and as well as the scholarships and just for being here. Oh, there it is. So if you have a ribbon, here it is. If you have a ribbon on the right leg of your chair, you are the winner I'm still waiting to see who says, I got it. Who has the ribbon? Congratulations, you just won the floral centerpiece on the table. You have a ribbon? Congratulations. Congratulations. You won the floral centerpiece of your table. That's it. There's no deciding who gets to leave with it. It's yours. It's yours. And it's yours. Congratulations. They're having a good time back there. Who won the flower over there? You did. Okay, of course she's smiling. I love flowers too. Flowers make my day, especially on a rainy day. So we're going to move it right along, and we're going to bring up we're going to present the Women of Distinction honorees. Since we first put this event together, we will also be awarding them with a proclamation from the Office of Public Advocate Letitia James. Are you representing her office? Yes, yes, yes. Listen, I just think it's wonderful to have women acknowledge women and document it, because these ladies get to frame these certificates and they get to look at them and remind themselves of what it is they're doing for their community. And sometimes it gets a little challenging, and when you look at that, it's like a reboot. So I just want to acknowledge Public Advocate Letitia James for making it a point of honoring our women this afternoon. And I understand Vanessa L. Gibson has also offered a certificate of merit. Was that for the scholarship recipients? So I don't know if that was mentioned, but we also want to acknowledge Vanessa L. Gibson for awarding the recipients with a certificate as well. Oh, and so now we're bringing the men into the picture. Assemblyman Mark Jonas has also provided a certificate for the honorees. So the honorees are leaving with an award as a woman of distinction, a certificate from Letitia's office, and a certificate from Mark Jonas' office. Congratulations. And orchids, oh my gosh, from the botanical garden. Yes, and I just want to share, orchids require care, and they require you to keep your apartment or your home at a cool temperature, so it's a good thing the winter's over. Okay, so we're going to bring up a Bronx historian who wants to make one little announcement. Brian Anderson, everyone.
Women's History Month. Now, you're all Bronxites, I take it, right? People from the Bronx, raise your hand. You always have to have a takeaway from these things. You have to be able to go back and say, you know what I learned today? Here's a little piece of Bronx trivia. Now, I was the former commissioner of the Department of Records for New York City, but more importantly, I'm a history major from Lehman College. So now you know I know what I'm talking about. But here's a little takeaway from today. Move over Oprah Winfrey. Who was the first self-made millionaire woman in the United States of America? First self-made millionaire woman in the United States of America. She was an African American, Madam C.J. Walker, and she's interred in Woodlawn Cemetery. So she's a permanent Bronxite. That's your takeaway. First self-made millionaire woman in the United States of America, born right after the Emancipation Proclamation to a family that was formerly enslaved. There's your takeaway. There'll be a quiz tomorrow. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Once again, inspired. Did you guys write down her name? Full name. Mrs. Walker. Cute. Nice. No, he said it so fast because, we're a little short on time. But that was very valuable information. And she resides here at the Woodlawn Cemetery. Thank you. And so now we're going to acknowledge our first honoree, a little background on her. She's a native of the Dominican Republic, a lifelong resident of Washington Heights. That's it, Dominicana. I already heard. And she's a leader in her community. Having been involved in New York City politics for over a decade, currently responsible for intergovernmental and community affairs for the Bronx, and part of the Northern Manhattan of New York State Comptroller's Office, Thomas D.P. DiNapoli. And and the Latina representative for the entire state of New York. Orgullosa. She's solely responsible for the coordination and communication within the Hispanic community on behalf of Comptroller DiNapoli. And before joining the office of the New York State Comptroller's Office, she served as the office manager and community liaison to United States Senator Charles Schumer for 4 years, worked on various election campaigns, and contributed hours of her time to community issues. Brava. Let's give a nice, big, warm welcome and a huge round of applause to our first honoree, Venicia Fernandez.
Okay, so I'm going to be quick. They told me to be quick. I want to say thank you to the Bronx Chamber of Commerce. I want to say thank you to the board members for selecting me today to get this award. I want to thank all my colleagues that came to support me today. I do great work because I work for a great leader. The best person in government right now is my boss, Tom DiNapoli. So when you work for someone who is amazing, you do amazing work. I appreciate this award because I come out to this community every day and I do unclaimed funds. I find people money, and it's so amazing when it's so amazing when you go to a place and you actually find money for people. They love you. And every year I come back and they want to know why they don't have money this year or why they're getting money. Thank you so much. I appreciate what I do, and I love what I do because it makes me happy. It fulfills me. I have a lot of friends here today, my women in government that are here, my women in non-for-profits that are here giving me support, And I love the Bronx Chamber because I've done so much work with you, Joe Kelleher, and everyone on the board. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. Oh, and I want to thank my mom. My mom is here today, so thank you, Mommy, for coming with me today.
And all I want to say that it's a great pleasure for me to be able to give you this on behalf of the Bronx Chamber.
Congratulations, Venecia Fernandez. She's going to be my new bestie, finding unclaimed funds. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So our second honoree was born and raised in the Bronx, a product of public education. She holds a bachelor's and master's of science in education with specialization in bilingual education from City College, and a second master's of science in education and supervision and administration from Bank Street College. She has earned postgraduate level credits at the Teaching of English as a Second Language, Fordham University, Spanish Language, University of Puerto Rico, and Special Education, Columbia University. She is presently a doctoral candidate at Fordham and is expecting to graduate in May of 2018. Putting students first, she believes that every student can learn given the appropriate support, experience, and guidance. And so on March 2017, the administration of Fordham University Graduate School of Education appointed her to the position of Assistant Director of the Center for Educational Partnerships. Let's give a nice, huge round of applause for our second honoree this afternoon, Nancy Rosario Rodriguez. You're welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for sharing my curriculum vitae. I think I'm going to look for you. Okay, I want to say good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I must say that I am humbled and honored. At the same time, very excited to be in your midst to receive the award of Women of Distinction, honoring trailblazing women in business and labor. My acceptance and receipt of this award would not be complete without paying tribute to the many gallant men and women who have made this milestone a true reality. First and foremost, I want to thank God for his grace and blessings upon my life and for opening the doors to service in this city and mainly in the borough of the Bronx. My career as educator and administrator in schools and districts over the past 35 years has allowed me to work with many administrators, teachers, school staff, students, and parents of La Comunidad. And for that, I am grateful. I have visited over 120 schools in the Bronx and many in other boroughs, and seen teaching and learning at different levels. My heart is invested in the future of public education. My history dates back to the fact that if it were not for my parents, Jose, who's here 89 years old and celebrated a birthday, and Leonida Rosario, my precious mom, who is homebound. They came from the beautiful island of Puerto Rico in the early 1940s. Buscando el sueño americano. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for them, but I want to thank my dad, who celebrated his birthday and has always said, knowledge is power. Get an education. In retrospect, I have spent my whole life in this beautiful borough of the Bronx. So I can truly say, I love the Bronx. As I grew older and more mature, I decided to venture to find a mate. And I ventured out of the Bronx and I married a Latin from Manhattan, Victor Rodriguez. My dear husband, a retired educator of the Bronx. I actually convinced him to move to the Bronx. And together we raised our two children, Victor Rodriguez Sr., who is an assistant principal in the Bronx. and Andres Julian Rodriguez, who's here with his lovely girlfriend, Angelique, who graduated last May from Fordham University in the Bronx. I want to thank my family for their understanding and mostly for supporting my call to serve humanity. When I think of the role of women who have the courage and the stamina to overcome adversity, I think of heroes like my abuela, my mama, my tias, my maestras, my mentoras, my boss, Anita Vasquez Batiste, who is not here today, who really opens doors for women to enter higher education. My spiritual leaders, some who are here and some who are not here, Pastor Sam Colon, mis colegas from Fordham, from DOE, te amo mucho. And friends and sisters in the Lord who share this beautiful day, and I want to say together, they have all paved the way and continue to pave the way for many young people to succeed. I am glad that there is a time every year when we pause to think about the vital contributions of women who passionately work to improve our workforce and society at large. Ladies and gentlemen, if this award stands for anything, it stands for the united spirit in all of us as we continue to move the agenda for this borough forward. I am cognizant that I achieve because we achieve. And we achieve because we meet the challenges together. In closing, I want to congratulate the other women who received their awards today, to the wonderful young people who have received a scholarship and are moving on to further their dreams. I want to say, continue your dreams. Continue to reach for the stars. You are going to make it because you have potential. And the young lady, Sarah, who applied for Fordham, I hope and pray you come to us because you are mine. I want to say, God bless you to all. I encourage you to continue to invest in this beautiful borough of the Bronx. Follow your dreams. Gracias.
Congratulations, Nancy. Rosario Rodriguez, let's give it up for her. It takes a village, and she has made a commitment to take on that village, and that I so respect that so much. So we'd like to acknowledge Tom Messina, who's here from Congressman Joe Crawley's office. Tom Messina. He's waving on the phone, just as they all are. They're always busy. It's Joe. Okay, we'll say hello to him from us. Our next honoree, and our last honoree for this evening, this afternoon, it feels like evening, is very excited, has been a labor and community activist for over 20 years. She has spent her career working to provide people with greater economic opportunity and continues to strive for the advancement of communities across New York City. She began her career in 1994 as a trainee of non-traditional employment for women. Yes, that is sexy. It is sexy because she went an entirely different route. And upon her graduation from NEW, the acronym for non-traditional employment for women, she gained membership into the New York City and vicinity District Council of Carpenters. She became shop steward for the union in 2001, and in 2009 she was hired as a district council organizer, making her the first female organizer for the New York City Carpenters Union. I love when they break the barriers, yes. All right, so let's give another round of applause and a warm welcome to our final honoree, Tamara Rivera.
Cheese.
Thank you so much. Listen, I know we're running short. All right. Vote for me. No. I know we're running short, but I got a message. So I want to thank the Bronx Chamber of Commerce for this honor, and I want to congratulate my fellow honorees for their achievements, and also the committee. Being a carpenter was never a thought in my career path. I thought I was going to be a rock star. Thank you. I love you for that. But anyway, on a serious note, if you listen closely, the path is there for you. And for me, it started with a great organization called Non-Traditional Employment for Women. From there, I knew I wanted to be a carpenter. Being in the Carpenters Union is such a gratifying and empowering place to be, especially as a woman. Being the first female organizer in the New York City Carpenters Union, I have a unique perspective on the importance of women within the labor movement, as well as within other sectors. Being in the building trades means being part of the middle class, and we need to hold on to that. You understand? There is nothing more gratifying than having an area standard wage with benefits. I chose this career, and it is a career, ladies and gentlemen. However, some are not as fortunate to have the benefits, and yet they do the same work. Along with building New York City comes a safety factor which we cannot deny. A factor that our trades, women and men, take pride in their professional, proper training. However, there are others that don't have that, and the consequences are so severe that they never get to see their family again. This is my message. We need to change this, ladies and gentlemen. We need to change this. That is why we need to urge elected officials to pass that bill, Intro 1447, for the safety of all that build New York City. That's right. We need to be accountable for that. As an organizer, it is my duty to educate and empower workers. This also includes mentoring sisters in the Brotherhood. I encourage sisters to educate themselves on their trade, their union, their community, and on the different ways they can impact. As a union member and a woman, I recognize it is easier to achieve our goals through collective action than through individual pursuits. Through the collective bargaining agreements negotiated by labor unions, women are guaranteed to be paid the same. I will repeat, women are guaranteed to be paid the same as their male counterparts doing the same work. We are stronger together, and I wouldn't be receiving this recognition without the help of my brothers and sisters in the Carpenters Union. I am proud to have earned this leadership position within the union and strive to ensure more women are provided with this opportunity. I am confident more sisters will rise to leadership positions and will even receive this award in the future someday. I thank my union, the New York City and Vicinity District Council of Carpenters. I thank my leadership and my colleagues for believing in me. I thank my brothers and sisters before me that have mentored me and are still mentoring me. And I thank my future sisters and brothers that have chosen me to mentor them. Thank you again, Bronx Chamber of Commerce, for recognizing me in this important award. And remember, ladies, we are all women of distinction. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamara Rivera, for closing with those powerful, empowering words. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's been honored today. And thank you to all for joining us today. And thank you to everyone who contributed to today's event. And so, in closing, I want to say, in the words of my beloved friend, April Horton, as you've all witnessed, here's to leaving things better than the way we found them. All right? Happy Women's History Month, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
We are together. And for the last 20 years, we have been building on a vision to share our views, our voices on our channels. We are the Bronx. We are BronxNet.
Well, I got this as a paid internship. Spending my time here, I really enjoyed the people that work here. I enjoy what goes on behind the scenes.
So far, I've learned how to operate a camera, how to host. I learned how to control audio.
My first time hosting was really nerve-wracking, but I really enjoyed it because it was a new experience.
Coming to you from our BronxNet studios, 4 new shows highlighting some of the best of the Bronx has to offer. We sit down with political leaders on in the district and discuss local legislation, events, and issues. See how the community and business come together with The Bronx Now on BronxNet. Nosotros features leaders from a Latino community. Meet those who are moving to make a difference in public service, business, arts, and culture. Looking for new and exciting dining experiences? Then you'll want to savor the Bronx and try new restaurants and eateries that fill the borough with delicious dishes. We have it all, so experience the Bronx in new and fresh ways on BronxNet.
From the north to the south to the west to the east, we are expanding our services and upgrading technology at Lehman College. And now, Bronxites have an innovative media production facility in the East Bronx at Mercy College in the Hutch Metro Center. The windows on the East Bronx studio, a state-of-the-art control room, media labs for production and training, and other media-capable spaces. Training, workforce development, leading-edge technology, and programs that help you share your ideas, your voice, on your channels, locally and globally. Build media and technology skills at BronxNet and build your dreams.